Okay, I want to study some Donkey Kong Country 1 stuff. Stuff that's been on my head recently is heads, actually. There are these heads of Kremlings on the top of sticks that appear in some sections of the game, and they have a vine growing up them. So the vine is growing up in spiral form up this pole and towards this head of a Kremling that's on top of the pole. So the vine is growing towards the head. Once it reaches the head, it stops growing, so to speak. It stops. There's no more vine. The vine doesn't curl in a spiral up the head. So the head is the landing area. It's like the end point. Then my question, I suppose, is what connection could this have with the theme of spirals in other parts of the game? Like, for example, treetop. I don't know if it's even called treetop trouble, but the little forest filled with houses on the trees has also got spiral staircases ascending up some sort of a vertical shape, and the spiraling staircases have a destination. They don't just spiral all the way. They spiral towards a house, a hut, right? And then the hut is the end point of that spiral. Okay, so one thing maybe we could see is that in both cases, both spirals, the top destination is a living thing in a way, because the house on the trees is where people live. And the top of the totem pole sort of statue is this head of a Kremling, which represents life. Well, it's a living effigy, an effigy of a living being or something. And furthermore, these are shapes, these spirals are shapes that move. And my reason for thinking this is because they are a staircase, which implies movement, stepping up or down the staircase, right? You use the staircase to move. So it isn't a static spiral, right? It could just be like a mathematical object, spiral, a shape that doesn't necessarily imply any movement up or down the spiral. But this shape and the other shape, a staircase and a vine, the vine also being something that grows, right? So a vine starts on the ground, on the soil, where I presume it has its roots, or I don't know how vines grow exactly, but they definitely grow, and they grow upwards, I would say. Or even if you want to say that they're growing downwards, they are growing in a direction. So the spiral in both these cases, both the staircase and the vine, is a spiral that isn't just a static object. It is a spiral that moves and implies movement. I would even say that it implies an upward movement, because the vine presumably could grow downwards, and the staircase could be used to descend the tree hut, of course. But since a tree hut is something that is difficult to reach if you're a mammal and not a bird, and these staircases, I would say, imply upward movement. I think that's the artistic intention of the staircase in the background in this image, is that it implies, oh, you can use this staircase to reach this treehouse, which is hidden up in the trees. You wouldn't be able to reach it otherwise. So in order to reach the treehouse, you need to climb upwards.